ସାର୍ ଜଏନ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଥାଅ ୱେଟ୍ କର ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହୁଅ ନାହିଁ। ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲ ଇସ୍ୟୁ ଯୋଗୁଁ ସାର୍ ଜଏନ୍ କରିପାରୁନଥିଲେ ଏବେ ଜଏନ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଥାଅ ୱେଟ୍ କର।
हेलो हेलो
सर सर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार। एक केते 1 2 3 4 5 5 जन जॉइन करछन्ती।
हां सर।
हां am I audible to you?
हां यस सर।
ठीक है आरंभ करिया ना 2-4 मिनिट अपेक्षा करिया।
सर आरंभ करिबा।
ठीक है ओके थैंक यू वेरी मच। वेलकम टू यू ऑल। I am now going to discuss the MES-102 instruction in higher education. Am I clear? Am I audible?
यस सर।
सुबह जाउछ तो ठीक अछि सो यूनिट 1 किछि बही अछि पाखरे सब किछि बही अछि
यस सर अछि अछि
ठीक है तो मु बतन आरंभ करछि। यूनिट 1 हुची इंस्ट्रक्शनल सिस्टम तेणु फर्स्ट यूनिट आज देखिए। Now I am going to start. So before starting instructional system, first you should know what is instruction, what is system, and then you will know instructional system. Before that I would like to discuss what is learning. Learning is regarded as a change in behavior and cognitive structure. You know that learning is change in behavior in a desired way. In a desired way. So, learning also takes place with others, because without any agency or without any person, learning cannot be occur. Isolation. In isolation, learning cannot occur. So if a student remains alone, he or she cannot learn, because learning requires some other agency. According to cognitivist school of psychology, learning is the change in cognitive structure of an individual. If there is a change in cognitive structure of an individual, learning occurs. So, according to constructivist school of psychology, learning is the construction of new learning experiences by the learner, which is the result of interplay between cognition and social context in which the learner is situated. That means, according to cognitivist school of psychology, learning is the construction of new learning experiences. That means constructivist means the students, they will construct new learning experiences. Suppose for an example, suppose a student, to a particular student, if a tree is shown to that particular student, then if the teacher says that you describe according to your own words about that particular tree, so it is not obvious that one cannot say that all the students can create or can tell the exact discussion or exact thing about that particular tree, because it can differ according to the thought process of different students. So it is constructivist school of psychology, according to it, that learning is the construction of new learning experiences. The students, they can construct new learning experience. So if something is given before that particular student, so the students, they can create new things. They can create new learning experiences from the old learning experiences. This is what we say the meaning of learning according to constructivist school of psychology. So how learning takes place? Learning takes place only through interaction with one or more components of the environment that can result in learning. So there are different components of the environment. The living things are there, non-living things are there, air, water, light, wind, plants, animals, other human beings, and also many things. So the learners, they can interact, they can learn something from the environment. So in isolation, if a learner remains in a particular room, closed room, the learning cannot occur, because learning requires some medium. So learning requires environment. So environment is the very important factor for the learning of a particular individual or particular student. So you know that learning is the modification of behavior, as you know. So now we'll discuss what is. We are now discussing unit 1, that is instructional system. So now we'll discuss what is instruction. What is the meaning of instruction? Instruction, when the teacher teaches in the class, The teacher cannot, teachers in the class requires some students. If a vacant classroom is there, the teacher cannot teach anything. To whom the teacher will teach? Therefore, the instruction requires some other organized environment. So, instruction involves the interaction of an individual with the organized environment, leading towards the attainment of certain instructional objectives. When the teacher comes to the class for teaching anything, that means before teaching, the teacher prefixes some instructional objectives on a particular topic. So the instructional objectives are prefixed. Objectives are prefixed before teaching. Before teaching, the teacher thinks that these are the objectives during instruction which he or she will deliver in the class. So after teaching of the teacher, the students they change their cognitive structure. They can gather new experiences, learning experiences. Therefore, instruction requires other organized environment. The teacher teaches the students. The teacher during teaching learning process, the teacher interacts with the students. This is the environment, and instruction. In other words, we can discuss instruction may be considered as a process of providing a controlled environment consisting of various components with which an individual or individuals interact and gain experience, leading to their attaining certain pre-specified learning outcomes. Suppose what is pre-specified learning outcomes? Suppose the teacher wants to teach about Shivaji. So on this particular topic, the students will learn something, some new experiences, and the instructional objectives are fixed before teaching. The teacher fixes instructional objectives. You know that these instructional objectives uh, um, which the teacher prefixes, that objective or those instructional objectives are attained, are achieved by the students at the end of his or her teaching. This is what we say the instruction. Instruction always takes place. Instruction always takes place with the other individuals. If the students they will remain isolated in a particular room, they cannot learn. But instruction requires other individuals, because interaction will take place. The instruction only then it can be possible to occur. Interaction between the organism and its environment. This is very important. That instruction takes place always with the interaction of the environment. Environment means students. Classroom is the environment, and students, they are very powerful environment for teaching learning process. This is very important, and this is what we say the instruction. You should know, you should remember that instruction simply we can mean that instruction takes place through interaction with others. This is, and it is organized process. The teacher comes to the class, the teacher writes something on the blackboard, the teacher puts question to the students, they put question to the teachers. These are the different components in which instruction can take place. बुझौछ ना बुझौ नि? हेलो 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 हेलो
हाँ सर
बुझो तो न बुझ बेले टिके पचारिबो हला
हाँ सर
हाँ ठीक अछि नाउ यू नो व्हाट इज व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय सिंपली इंस्ट्रक्शन instruction means the interaction between the individuals. Here teacher is an individual, the students they are the other individuals. Whenever teaching learning process or that takes place or instruction takes place, that interaction takes place. Without interaction instruction cannot be possible. So this is the instruction. What is then next system? What is the system? System is considered as an integrated set of components. So for an example, suppose car and its car is a system. Suppose car, bus, or motorcycle. So if you regard this as a system, so what are the subsystems? Subsystems are brake, gear, or the mirror, so many things. All the parts of the car they are regarded as the subsystem. So suppose system human body is a system. Human body is a system. Another example I would like to give you that human body is a system. If we say human body is a system, what are the subsystem? Tell me, what are the subsystem? Digestive system, respiration system, it is a subsystem. Blood circulation, it is a subsystem. Eye, nose, and the different parts of a human body, it is known as a subsystem. So now instructional, what is instructional system? Instructional system means the students in educational system are subjected to many situations to learn various things. Instructional system means that classroom is a instructional system. In classroom, what happens? The teacher teaches the teacher teaches the particular topic, and the students they learn. The teacher prefixes some objectives of the topic. The teacher puts question to the students. The topic is well taught by the teacher through step by step, and the students they gain learning experiences. The teacher uses different methods and approaches in teaching. So these are the different subsystems. These are the different things which are called the instructional system. In instructional system, these are very important because these, without these components, the instructional system it is not possible. So so in classroom teaching, these are very necessary. The teacher uses different methods. The teacher teaches particular topic. The teacher uses teaching learning materials. The teacher writes on the blackboard. The students they put question. The teachers also they put question to the students, and objectives are prefixed before teaching. So these are the system. All these things, if we take all together, this is known as the instructional system. बुझे ना बुझे बुझो जी अच्छा हेलो हेलो
हाँ सर
सर ठीक से साउंड आता है
हेलो
हाँ सर
हेलो सुबिला तो
हाँ सर सुबिला
नहीं सुबुझ मुझे नसुब मझे मझे कथा माने कहतु क्या पुणी काल नेटवर्क कौन एबे सुबिला ठीक
सुबिला सुबिला सर
हाँ ठीक है
आज्ञा सर
हाँ मैंने मझे मझे रेस्पॉन्ड करिवो कहीं जानी परिबेनी ठीक है दिस इज इंस्ट्रक्शनल सिस्टम डू यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज इंस्ट्रक्शनल सिस्टम according to your own word you please tell me what is instructional system instruction system कौन कह हेलो 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 हेलो
Yes, sir.
हाँ इंस्ट्रक्शनल सिस्टम व्हाट इज
Hello.
इंस्ट्रक्शनल सिस्टम नहीं एबे सुबुझ तो
Sir.
मोर मोर कह कथा साउंड सुबुझ तो
Sir.
हाँ सही कथा
Yes,
असुविधा
sir.
हेले पचारिबो साउंड जेतेबेले असुविधा हबो एबे एबे क्लियर सुबुची
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ ठीक है व्हाट इज इंस्ट्रक्शनल सिस्टम instructional system that in instructional system what happens students in educational system means in the classroom the students in educational system are subjected to many situations to learn various things the teacher teaches in the classroom when the teacher teaches in the classroom the teacher uses teaching learning materials the teacher uses blackboard the teacher writes on the blackboard the teacher teaches a particular topic the teacher puts some question to the students also put question to the teacher the objectives are prefixed by the teacher before teaching after teaching the objectives are well acquired by the students जो objective teacher fix करिथाए से objective at the end of teaching से माने पिला माने से माने achieve करंती the teacher organizes the topic step by step learning and when the teacher teaches when the teacher organizes the topics step by step the students they can understand the topic and the methods also are used by the teacher different methods are used in history different methods are there in mathematics different methods are there so these are the different methods and also the teacher evaluates at the end of the teaching during teaching also the teacher puts question to the students also they put question to the teacher these are the different processes by which the students they can learn something this is all together this is known as the instructional process now we'll discuss the input to output model that input to output model means what suppose the teacher is teaching the teacher is teaching something the teacher when is teaching something a particular topic the teacher is teaching and after teaching what happens suppose about Shivaji is a particular topic the teacher teaches this particular topic and after teaching the students they can learn they can acquire some knowledge that output when the students are evaluated when the students are examined the extent to which the students they have actually understood the subject or topic that can be found out that is known as the actual behavior and expected behavior the teacher always wants that expected behavior of the students is such and such so when the teacher teaches a particular topic all the content materials all the learning materials or content which are taught by the teacher everything cannot be well remembered or acquired by the students so suppose another example I would like to say that suppose when we actually go to ପ୍ୟାଡି ମେସିନ୍ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ଧାନ କଳ ଆମେ ଧାନ ନେଇକି ଆମେ କଣ କରିବା when we go to the paddy machine that we process machine can process and change the paddy into rice. So this is the process. Similarly, the teacher can change the minds of the learner for acquiring new experiences. This is what we say the input output, and we can say that there are different steps of a system approach. What are the steps of system approach? Steps of system approach. That first step, that is formulation of output specification. System approach steps, there are different steps. First is the formulation of output specification. Means what? What is the task that is to be achieved by the students is decided first. What task that is to be achieved, the teacher can decide first. This is the first step, formulation of output specifications. So in this step, the students they can another thing that define, the teacher can define specifically the instructional objective into terminal behaviors. Instructional objective, you know what are the instructional objectives? Instructional objectives are, what are they? Knowledge, understanding. What are other instructional objectives? Knowledge objective, understanding, application,
Skill.
analysis,
Skills.
synthesis, evaluation. Yes, these are the different objectives. These objectives are prefixed when the teacher teaches. That the teacher keep all these instructional objectives in the mind, that the students, they will achieve these instructional objective after the end of my teaching. This thing the teacher thinks. This is formulation of output specification. What the students they will achieve, what their output specification are there. This is the instructional object. These are the instructional objectives. Second is the preparation of criterion test. Preparation criteria test means the teacher can prepare some test, whether the instruction is in a right direction or in a wrong direction. The teacher can evaluate the performance of the students. Therefore, in order to evaluate the performance of the students, the extent the students they have achieved the instructional objectives, to what extent the students they have achieved, they have understood my teaching. This is the criterion test, or teacher prepares the test. And third one is formulation of instructional input alternatives. Formulation of instructional input alternatives means learning experiences. What are the learning experiences for achieving instructional objectives? The teacher can use methods through by which means the students they can acquire some knowledge. Materials, teaching learning materials. When the teacher formulate instructional input alternatives, the student in order to provide clear understanding of a particular topic, the students they can better understand by the best method used by the teacher, by using the best method by the teacher. And the teacher also provide written materials. The teacher can provide a good lecture. The teacher can provide different skills by which the students will better understand. And fourth one is selection of the best set of inputs. That means it is very important thing that it is not necessary on the part of the teacher for a long lecture. If the teacher gives a long lecture, the students they will feel boring, because if something is written by the teacher on the blackboard during his teaching, then the students they can best understand the topic. Therefore, the simply the lecture lecture should not be given side by side. Some written writing, or the teacher can write something on the blackboard, and during teaching, the best part of a particular topic that must be identified by the teacher. The teacher should say that this is very important for this particular topic. So the teacher can also discuss in the class. The teacher can give practical work. The teacher can give assignment. The teacher can also use audiovisual materials for better understanding, the best understanding of the particular topic. And the fifth step is the preparation of learning materials. Learning materials, the teacher should do, not give only lecture in the class, rather than the teacher should give something in writing to the students. Some notes should be given to the students. That means learning materials should be very comprehensive. The long learning materials that should not be given by the teacher. The learning materials, the notes which are given to the students, that should be very comprehensive, and that should contain important points only. Learning materials are developed, or the teacher should develop learning materials before teaching, and after the end of the teaching, the teacher should provide learning materials. So in written form, learning materials should be given when the teacher teaches in the class. The teaching should be given in sequence. Sequential teaching is better for the students, because they can better understand step by step. And the sixth step, that is laboratory tryout. How laboratory tryout means how the instruction actually works or not. In order to know the instruction, success of instruction, the laboratory tryout, it is very important step. Learning material are to be tested. Suppose the learning material which is prepared by the teacher, that must be first tested by the teacher, whether it is actually beneficial, or it will be beneficial for the students or not. Learning materials are to be tested, and this initial testing, is known as the laboratory testing, or it is a laboratory tryout. If this laboratory tryout is very effective, taking a small sample of the students, when the laboratory tryout takes place, the teacher can take or test taking the small sample of students, because if that means he can say to 2 or 3 students, you see the written material which I have given. If they say that sir, it is okay and this is very good for us, then the teacher can provide or distribute the learning material, written materials to all the students. So next, that is the field tryout. Field tryout means, this is what we say now, that field tryout means large sample to be tested. If a small sample, or that is laboratory tryout, is successful, then the teacher can implement it for all the students in the class. So what is the benefit of field tryout means? large sample, large number of students, they should be tested. And what is the purpose of testing? Suppose if the students they can commit any error, they can do some mistakes, then the teacher can rectify the mistakes, and the revision can be done. The teacher can revise the topic again. This is the very important part, important step. And the last step, that is revision and outcome. Revision and outcome, it is the final form of instructional system. But this revision and outcome, the teacher can know from the test whether the student they have well understood the topic or not. That is very important on the part of the learner. Then if the result is good, then revision is not at all required. It is not wise to say that all the students will understand. Most of the students they will not understand, because if we say normal, if we discuss the normal probability curve, both the at both the ends, some students are there who are brilliant and also who are gifted. So in normal probability curve says that in a particular class, not all the students are brilliant, not all the students are poor. So not all the students are normal students, but it is the combination of three different types of students. In a class there are poor students, in a class there are brilliant students, in a class also normal students are there. The number of normal students, it is more in comparison to the poor student and the gifted students. So this is what we say, the different steps of instructional system. Now we will discuss that selection of instructional inputs. Subuchi, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
कहना जल्दी पढ़िया पड़ियो, just खाली discussion करिया कथा. So now we'll discuss that selection of instructional input. How can we select the instructional input? Input means what the teacher teaches the topic. Instructional input. That first, that is instructional objectives. The teacher first fix the instructional objectives. What are the instructional objectives of a particular topic, or that can be well acquired by the or achieved by the end of the teaching. That instructional objective that should be well formulated before teaching. And for selection of instructional output, the teacher should do conduct experiment, as a result of which the instructional objectives can be well achieved. The teacher can conduct laboratory work. The teacher can discuss or start or discuss the project. So these are the different things, important components by which the instructional objectives are selected. Instructional objectives that must be fulfilled by the not by the teacher, that must be fulfilled, well acquired by the students. Second is the learner characteristics. What is the learner characteristic? So you see that in a particular class there are different types of students. So what I now said, that discussing the normal probability curve, that three types of students are there: poor student, normal student, and gifted students. And other things, that so the learner, what are the learner characteristics? So if when the teacher select the instructional inputs, the teacher should should take into consideration that the socio-economic condition. The teacher should take socio-economic condition into consideration, The teacher should know that the socio-economic condition of all the students, it is not same, it is different from one to other. So background, home background of the students, the teacher, it is the learner characteristics. It can also affect teaching learning process. The study habits also, it can also affect teaching learning process. So these are the learning characteristics, and also mental condition, emotional condition of the students. It can also affect teaching learning process. The library reading and project library reading. The students, you see that the students, some of the students, they are not going to library for their study. That they should go to the library, and it is the habit. The teacher should do uh, give instruction to the students to use the library. And third is nature of discipline. Discipline here, that is a subject, nature of the subject, that is topic. We cannot say that discipline means that discipline. It is a discipline means a subject. It differs basing on subject. Then what type of subject? If the teacher discusses mathematics, if the teacher discusses history, if the teacher discusses science, so that depends. That the instructional objectives also they will remain same, but the content will be different. Nature of depending on the subject, the content will be differed, and instructional objectives will remain same. Number 4 is availability of resources. So resources are very important in instructional input. When the teacher teaches something at a particular topic, the resources are very important. Resources means teaching learning materials, that is TV, computer, or library, or well equipped classroom, or infrastructure facility. So these are the different things which are very important for providing inputs that the students, they can easily understand the topic. And fifth point, that is size of the group. You see, the for giving instruction or for teaching the students, the small group is very important. Small group is necessary, but in higher education, that the normal number of students, the 100 to 150 students, they are in the class, the teacher can teach the students. But in lower level, 100 or 150 students, it is not wise, because they are small students. Here in higher education, the to 100 and 100 or within 100 to 150 number of students in one class, the teacher can teach the students. This is in higher class. In lower class, its number will be decreased. And if the size of the class will be a standard, that is a standard one, that is 100 to 150 number of students are there, the student can they can well listen, they can well discuss among themselves, they can put question to the students. And normally what happens in higher class, the best group, that is the students consisting of 20 to 30 students, it is a best group, and for providing better teaching. And the size of the classroom, if the size of the group, that will remain within 20 to 30, then it will be very better. Self study, the students, they can also study, they can study in the library. Library is a very important component of teaching learning process. And this is the fifth point, important point of selecting instructional inputs. And sixth one is the ability of the teacher. You see, the how the teacher, how he can just select the instructional inputs, and it depends on the ability of the teacher. The teacher can therefore the teacher attends seminar. The teacher, or also the teacher can engage the students in seminar. That the teacher can instruct the students to organize self learning material, or to prepare self learning material. And the self learning materials, these are very important for acquiring knowledge. When the students, they prepare the self learning materials, they can gather knowledge, because this is learning by doing. In learning by doing, the students, they can develop teaching learning process, and they can also understand the best teaching of the teacher. And now I will discuss that role of the teacher in instructional system. What is the role of the teacher? And in instructional system, the role of the teacher, that the teacher acts as an input. The teacher, role of the teacher is or it gives, role of the teacher gives or places a very important place in the classroom. The teacher acts as input. How the teacher provide instruction to the students, how the teacher teach the students. The teacher is regarded as a role model before the students. The teacher also gives or provides input in the form of written material. Print materials can be given to the students. This also acts as input. And different programs can be also be organized. Audio video program can be organized, and the computer assisted learning also can be taken place, as a result of which the students, they can better understand. Demonstration also, the teacher acts as a demonstrator. While teaching the students in the class, the teacher acts as demonstrator, means so many things are reflected through demonstration in the class. As a result, they can understand the content or subject matter. The teacher is regarded as a systemist. Systemist means the teacher uses some system. That computer is a system, in internet, mobile is a system. So also during teaching, the teacher also uses some music. So when teacher uses music in his teaching, the teacher can best impart instruction to the students. Therefore, the teacher is regarded as a systemist. Some teachers are there who can sing in the class. Therefore, the teacher is also regarded as a systemist in singing. The teacher also takes the students. The teacher takes the students outside the classroom. The teacher creates a good environment for teaching learning process. Therefore, the teacher plays a drama. Teacher is regarded also as a dramatist. So this is what we say, the role of the teacher. And this is all about your first chapter, that is the instructional system. Now we will discuss unit 2, input alternatives that teacher control. Hello. 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 Hello.
Yes, sir.
बुझ तो
आज्ञा
ठीक अच्छी अच्छा यूनिट 1 टा हमर सरी गला वर्तमान यूनिट 2 टा स्टार्ट करिया सो यूनिट 2 होची कोन ना टीचर कंट्रोल्ड इंस्ट्रक्शन that is input alternatives teacher control what is teacher controlled input teacher controlled input means teacher can control the students teacher can control the students teacher controlled input means when the degree of participation of the teacher is more teacher controlled means the participation of the teacher is more the teacher discusses more the students participation is less this is teacher controlled input or student controlled input or learner controlled input means the participation of the student is more that means the participation of the students and the if we compare a learner controlled input teacher controlled input between these two the participation comes to the forefront teacher control input means the role of the teacher is important the degree of participation of the teacher is more that means the teacher's participation is more in case of a learner controlled input the learner's participation is more the teacher's participation is less bujhela na bujhela so now we'll discuss that teacher controlled instruction so what is what is the meaning of teacher controlled input तार अर्थटा मत टे कहि दियो कोन बुझिलो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय टीचर कंट्रोल्ड इनपुट को मु बुझेली को हेलो हेलो व्हाट इज टीचर कंट्रोल्ड इनपुट हाँ टीचर कंट्रोल्ड इनपुट teacher controlled input means the degree of participation of the teacher is more the teacher can discuss more the role of the teacher in participation is more whereas students participation is less and learner control in case of a learner control the participation of the learner it is more so now we'll discuss what is lecture. What is lecture? Hello. Subhujina, am I audible to you all? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
यस सर
ठीक है मते तमे टे मझरे मझरे मु क्वेश्चन पचार छी कुह काई ना कोन बुझिलो न बुझिलो मु जानि पानी अच्छा वर्तमान जने किए गोटे ये कर देबो को ये स्क्रीनशॉट मारी के रखि देबो बाय चांस मु भी नौची बाय चांस स्क्रीनशॉट मोर कोन असुविधा है मते पठे दो पछरे हला की हेलो
आज्ञा सर
हां ठीक है
आज्ञा
अच्छा नाउ वी डिस्कस इन टीचर कंट्रोल्ड instruction the lecture you will discuss about lecture what is lecture means communicating directly to the students while talking by the teacher in the most of predominator activity is called lecture that lecture is a one way communication maybe two way but the very important thing is that when the lecture is given by a teacher it is especially it is one way communication when the teacher talks the students they listen the teacher is the active member the students they are passive member they listen in the class and when the discussion takes place between the teacher and the students and at that time the teaching becomes more effective that here in lecture since that in order to give some content to the students simply the teacher gives a lecture only the teacher organize or provide information in a systematic way, in a structured way to the students, and the students they can talk less. Also, the students they can discuss, but the importance is given by the teacher on his teaching by giving lecture. So now, what is the steps? What is lecture? Lecture. Do you understand what the lecture? Lecture means it communicates directly to the students while talking by the teacher. When the teacher talks to the students, when the teacher talks in the class, directly the student listens, and directly the student understands something. Directly the students they can also write something in their notes, and this activity is known as lecture. And it is a lecture is a one-way communication, and sometimes it is two-way communication when only when the teacher talks to the students. Hence, hence it is a two-way communication. When question answer session begins, the teacher does not give more importance on question answer session, because during his teaching, the teacher to some extent put some question to the students. So this is what we say communication lecture. And what is the steps of lecture? Steps of lecture. It is a lecture as a method of. It is a method of instruction. What is lecture? A lecture is a method of instruction. It is one method. Lecture method. You know, in B.Ed that in education that lecture method, demonstration method, discussion method, historical method. So many methods are in history. Storytelling method. So simply, lecture is also a method of instruction. So how can lecture be delivered? What are the steps? So first step of delivering the lecture, that is planning of a lecture. Before going to the class for a lecture, the teacher plans of a lecture. The first step is planning of a lecture. First step. Now we'll discuss. Now we are discussing about the steps of lecture. First step, that is planning of a lecture. That in this step, the teacher prepares a lesson plan. The teacher prepares a lesson plan, and when the teacher prepares a lesson plan, instructional objectives are taken into consideration by the teacher. Instructional objective means what objectives that will be achieved at the end of the teaching by the students. Students, what they will achieve? The instructional objectives, what are fixed or which are fixed by the teacher in the beginning. Those instructional objectives, whether they are acquired by the students or not, it can be well known. And while the teacher plan a lecture, he should also think about the nature of the content. What type of content it is? How much time it will be taken in the in giving a lecture? And during lecture, what type of audiovisual aids that can be provided? Depending on the class size, the teacher also should plan. If the class size is more, then the teacher can give or talk in a loud voice. The teacher can, if it is small, the teacher's voice will be low. So and another thing that while planning for a teacher, that students' nature of the students, that should be taken into consideration. What is the nature of the students? Means what? The students are small, the poor students are there, gifted students are there, normal students are there. Therefore, all these things are to be considered during planning of a lesson. So kinds of questions, what what are the different types of questions that should be asked by the teacher, that is to be taken into consideration in this planning stage, planning of a lecture stage. That multiple choice type question, short answer type question, or one line question, or that fill up gap type question, or multiple choice question. These are the different things which are to be taken into consideration during this planning of a lecture. And also feedback also should be given to the students. Whether if the students they are putting some question, if they are not understanding well, also the teacher during his teaching, that he should provide the feedback. And different materials, teaching learning materials such as charts, graphs, overhead projector, that and these are should be taken into consideration. These is, by the help of all these things, the student teacher can deliver the lesson. And the sitting arrangement is very important during planning stage, planning of a lecture. When lecture starts, the teacher should give give an eye to the students, whether they are sitting haphazardly or they are sitting systematically. So these are the different things which are to be taken into consideration. And a second step, that is delivery of a lecture. This is the first step. First step, planning of lecture is very important. Second is delivery of a lecture. When the lecture is delivered, what is the role of the teacher? What is the role of the teacher? First, from the very beginning, that the teacher should use warm up phase. That means welcome to the students, or congratulations, or the teacher should encourage the motivate the student. This is the motivational stage from the beginning of the delivery of a lecture. This, if this warm up phase is effective, then the teacher's teaching will be effective. The students, they can understand better. Establishing a proper rapport with the students. During the delivery of a lesson, the teacher should use very simple words. The language should be very simple. Language should not be hard. Otherwise, the students, they cannot understand the topic. Therefore, during the delivery of a lecture, the teacher should give importance on language. And the teacher should create motivation. The teacher should create interest among the learners. The teacher teacher should test previous knowledge of the students, what they know, what knowledge they have, what the knowledge they possess. That previous knowledge test, when the teacher puts some question from the past topic, and the student can recall learning, past learning experiences. And the teacher should use the blackboard when the teacher delivers the lecture. And these are the very important things. And next next step, that is development phase. This delivery, during the delivery of lesson, first stage is the motivation. That is introduction of a lecture. First, for introducing a lecture or for giving a lecture, first the students are to be encouraged, the students are to be motivated by putting previous knowledge questions, or by putting some old questions from old topic. And developmental phase. Developmental phase means that real this is the actual lecture which is given by the teacher. Developmental phase means lecture, actually lecture starts. That a transaction of ideas and information between the learner and teacher takes place. Here, the teacher gives some knowledge to the students, and the students they put questions to the teacher. Vice versa, the students also they put question to the teachers. The teacher also puts question to the students, and the teacher here explains the content, subject matter, if with the use of teaching learning materials. The teacher can explain the content by writing the main points on the blackboard. The teacher can also explain by giving the examples. The teacher can use the teaching learning materials. The teacher can use verbal communication and also non-verbal communication. The teacher's gesture, postures are very important for teaching learning process. Eye contact with the students is very important. If the teacher teaches in the class, if the teacher, when the teacher teaches in the class, the teacher should give focus to all the students. The teacher should have a eye contact with all the students democratically. The teacher should not give or the teacher should not have a high eye contact with a particular student. He should be more democrat. That means democratically he should contact eye with all the students. The gesture, posture, and the physical movements during lecture. The physical movement is very important. Physical movement means the change of voice, change of position. The teacher should not stand at a particular place. The teacher should change his position in the class. Therefore, if these two, the gesture, posture, or movement of the teacher in the class, these all these things are very important for better understanding of a lecture. And audiovisual aids also. Sometimes what happens, the teacher should do use reinforcement. If the when the teacher gives questions or provide that puts question to the students, if the students answers well, he should give that reinforcement, verbal reinforcement. It is better for development of the teaching learning process. And then next phase is consolidation phase. Consolidation phase means concluding phase. At the end, when the lecture ends, what is the role of the teacher in consolidation phase? Means concluding phase. That the teacher recollects some points, the main points which are taught, which are focused on the topic. That main points can be written on the blackboard at the concluding phase of the lecture. The main things, main points that should be written, main points that should be discussed by the teacher, either verbally or by writing on the blackboard, or showing it through overhead projector, or asking few questions to the students, or and when the teacher puts some question to the students, if the students they are unable to understand, if the students they face learning difficulties, the teacher can also provide feedback to the students. If the result, if the answer which is given by the students is not at all justified or not at all desirable, if the answer is not satisfied, then the teacher can teach again. Reteaching can also be organized, and he can modify can content is lecture lecture prepare different components are there, and one you can see the 7-point rating scale, the teacher appraisal scale. Teacher appraisal scale, it is a 7-point scale. First point, excessively weak, very weak, weak, average, good, very good, excellent. These are the different points scale, 7-point scale. And by using the 7-point scale, the teachers can be well assessed. The questions are there. You can refer that introduction, the number question 1, introduction of aroused students, curiosity, interest in lecture, content was organized effectively, explanation were clear and coherent, examples were simple and meaningful. That means during teaching, what processes or what approaches the teacher was using, and there are different questions, and on this particular question the teacher can be well assessed. So here next we will discuss different approaches to content treatment and information processing. Different approaches. What are the different approaches to content treatment and information processing? First, that is serial order presentation. Serial order presentation, the input which is given by the teacher, that should be, or the topic which is taught by the teacher, that should be presented serially, in a logical manner, and the relevant explanations that should be used. The teacher should give relevant explanations, relevant examples. Language of the teacher should be appreciated to all the learners. The language should be simple, normal. This is no also they
Start नाही सुद्धा.
Hello, 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 hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ଶୁଭୁଛି ନା ସେ ମଝିରେ ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଠିକ ଅଛି ଠିକ ଅଛି. So now we'll discuss what are the different. One minute, one minute. Qualities or disadvantage of lecture. What are the disadvantages or what are the advantages of a lecture? You tell me. You give me you tell me the advantages of a lecture. Lecture. What are the benefits or merits or demerits of a lecture? So merits of a lecture that a more topic can be well covered in one lecture, or it is another merits of a lecture is that the discipline the teacher maintains. The teacher maintains discipline. The students they sit in a disciplined manner, and most of the topics can be well covered in time. What are the demerits of the lecture method or lecture? It places students in a passive role, because they teach in lecture. In lecture or during lecture, the students they feel boring. That the students they become more passive. It encourages one-way communication. It is another demerit of the lecture method. Lecture, it is one-way communication. Only the teacher is speaking, the students are only listening. It is a boring one. It requires a considerable amount of unguided student time outside the classroom to achieve understanding and long-term retention of content. And what happens, we cannot remember for a long time. We cannot remember the content for a long time, because only the teacher is active and the students are passive. The teacher during teaching does not put any question to the students. Only the puts question, but not more questions are being put by the teacher. And it is actually it is another thing that it is not interactive process. The teacher does not give more focus on interaction. The student they do not discuss with the teacher. And another thing that the teacher only speaks. Sometimes the teacher does not write on the blackboard. If the teacher only speaks, then it is a boring to the students. The student they feel boring. So this is what we say the lecture. Now we discuss a demonstration. What is a demonstration? Demonstration means showing something in the class before the students. Demonstration means it involves the art of depicting the skill associated with an action. Some things, suppose when if the teacher is teaching about a flower, so flower is being shown to the students, and different parts of a flower that can be shown to the students. Different parts of a flower that can be also discussed. What are the different functions of different parts of a flower that can be discussed. This is the demonstration. Means the real things. If the real things are not possible to bring in the class, subsidiary things are reflected by the teacher. Suppose we cannot bring a tiger in the class. We can only bring the picture of a tiger. We cannot we cannot just bring a big tree in the to the classroom. So we can in this case also use the picture, or also we can use the video. So this is the demonstration. Demonstration means showing how something is to be done or not to be done. In teaching, demonstration means something should be reflected or shown to the students. Characteristics of a demonstration. Demonstration first characteristic, both it is concrete and abstract matter. Abstract in nature, that both concrete and abstract matter can be effectively demonstrated. Concrete means the real things can be suppose a tiger we cannot bring tiger to the class, because it is not it is abstract. A picture can be drawn and it can be shown before the students. It is abstract. And the concrete means sometimes if a small plant can be shown to the students, this is concrete. Concrete means what we can touch, what we can see, real things. That second is the best method of displaying skill in operation. That in this particular demonstration, the real things can be dissected. Suppose in zoology, the dissection of a frog, the students they are doing the dissection. That the real things can be displayed before the students. Demonstration is facilitated by audiovisual materials like chalkboard, film strip, recording, diagram, that is radio, audio, video, visuals. These are the different characteristics of demonstration. Now, what are the principles of demonstration? Principles of demonstration, that it establishes a rapport. It establishes a rapport among the students. It arouses curiosity among the students. It demonstrates keeping himself as the role as observer. The students are the observer. The teacher demonstrates, the students they observe. The students demonstrate, the teacher also observes. Watching for key points. In demonstration, the key points are taken into consideration. The key points are discussed. So now all these are the principles. Now we'll discuss steps of demonstration. First step, preparing a classroom demonstration. In classroom demonstration, the teacher plans a demonstration that will create interest. The teacher plans every step carefully. The teacher releases demonstration, rehearse demonstration. The teacher outlines the steps on the chalkboard. The teacher writes down the steps on the blackboard. Teacher removes the steps one by one after completion of one step, and the teacher makes sure that everyone can see. For during demonstration, the teacher should be very cautious that what the teacher is telling, the uh, during demonstration, see, it should create the thing. When we design uh, then ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ କଟି ଯାଉଛି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହଉଛି ଆଉ what is the advantage of demonstration difficult concepts are well understood by the demonstration the student can understand the difficult concept through demonstration it provides an interesting forum for students and teachers because it it provides interest among the students and teachers because they are performing they perform something so when demonstration takes place the students they record the observation what they have observed they record the observation and the demonstration also it develops skills of the students and during and also the demonstration it develops empathy among the learners what are the demerits of demonstration demerits it is not effective in a big class so for a big class it is not effective not take it is Please do or in organization
Sir, your voice is not audible. Sir, your voice is not audible.
Team teaching is a form of organization in which individual teachers decide to pool resources, interests, and expertise in order to devise and implement a scheme of work suitable to the needs of their students and facilities of the institution. Team teaching means a group of students